Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we invited this gentleman to speak today. You can see why. Knox, are you the only person who made enemies with both India and Pakistan, or are there others too? I appreciate this consistency. If you're going to be critical of a foe, then you have to be willing to do that with a friend as well. So I think just the first question out of the gate is, how do you, the most difficult one, how do you do that with friends? India is a huge democracy, incredibly important, especially in this world of competition with China and whatnot. How do we convey that, the importance, and then that there are going to be consequences, right? I think that's the part that I think is most difficult. It's one thing just to raise it, but to say, hey, if you don't do this, there could be, what are some of the strategies that you could discuss?
Yeah, India is the country I'm most concerned about because it's been one where there's been a general sort of Washington consensus that Delhi is our counterweight to Beijing because they're a democracy. But policymakers at high level seem unwilling to sort of scratch below the surface of that statement and look at the broader trends across that country underneath the current leadership and how there is a significant drift away from shared values. India is a wonderful country. It's incredibly diverse. It's a birthplace of Buddha, of Hinduism, of Jainism. Christianity was brought there by St. Thomas himself, one of the 12 disciples of Christ. Islam has been there for centuries. Baha'ism, Ahmadiyism, incredible diversity. But this political narrative that it's a Hindu country for Hindus has led to sort of this metastasizing, narrow perspective of what it means to be India with devastating impacts on the Muslim community, on the Christian community, that Narendra Modi seems unwilling to address. And so I think as a friend of India, as a country that does share this foundational belief in democracy and rule of law, having a frank conversation about where they're going is important. It doesn't mean we're slapping sanctions on them, but there are tools like the special watch list that Congress gave the State Department as a way to signal we're concerned where things are going. India, I think, should be on that list. Yeah. And that would get the attention of policymakers in Delhi. That can change the conversation. When I was at the Religious Freedom Commission, then President Obama was going to India, and we had an effort to get to him a letter urging him to raise religious freedom conditions in India. And on his very last day, when he was speaking at the Siri Fort before students, he actually talked about it. And I heard from Indian religious minorities that improved the climate for at least a year. Oh, wow. Just an American president saying this was important to him. Because what we need to realize is India needs us more than we need them. We're the superpower. They're the one that has China on their border. And so for us to come up as sort of supplicants that we're so desperate to have this relationship, we'll ignore all the bad things that are happening, I think kind of puts an imbalance in the relationship that's unhelpful and unhealthy. So I think being honest, representing our values, and it's up to them to decide whether they want to come towards these shared values, or if they're going a different path, they're a free country and they can do that, but then there'll be consequences with how this relationship will look. Yeah.